sometimes to be true to yourself and to be honest with others, you got to say the right thing. And it might be no. It's okay. It's honest. It's legitimate. I came across a situation in the grocery store that I want to share with you. I think it really brings this topic home. I was in the grocery store and a parent was in there with a child. The child was in the grocery cart while the parent was shopping. The parent was pulling some groceries or items off the shelf, putting them in the basket. And then the child began to also put things in the basket. As the child began to do this, the parent spoke to the child and asked the child not to do that. They went through this dialogue a few times, and the parent continued asking the child not to do it. Eventually, the child turned around and responded and said no. And again, that went on for a little while. Myself and a few others were just sort of watching to see what was going to happen. And it was interesting because it seemingly the parent just gave up and sort of walked away with their head down sheepishly as they passed by. And what stuck out to me from that situation was the power of that child's no. Even though the parent was saying no in certain ways, but when the child spoke out in a definite no, and apparently that had been happening before, I'm not passing a judgment on it, but the child knew by saying no a couple of times that apparently he was going to have his way, and he or she did. And so what do you want to draw from that, Ed? I want to share with you that, in my estimation, that child's no had more credibility and more power than the parent's no. And so that's what I want to talk about briefly, the power of saying no. Listen, may I share with you that saying no can be the beginning of setting needed boundaries for you and others you interact with. Listen, these boundaries include our spouses, our children, significant others, co-workers, business associates, even some of our colleagues. We need to be able to set boundaries by saying no when we need to. And listen, even after we're fully adults and out of the house, sometimes we need to say no to our parents. Vanessa Patrick, PhD, her new book, great book, The New Science of How to Say No That Puts You in Charge of Your Life. Dr. Patrick says this: the social pressure we experience to abide by the expectations of others can leave us feeling trapped and conflicted. I don't know about you, but yes, I have. God knows I've experienced that on more than one occasion. Felt trapped and conflicted. Why? Because I wanted to say no. Sometimes I needed to say no, but I said yes. Our values, our priorities, all of those inevitably change. I don't care who we are or what's going on in our life. At some point, our values and our priorities are going to change. So as we grow, as we mature, as we gain different level of wisdom, our values, and our priorities, all of that changes. Whether we realize it or not, some internal changes occur that affect our cognition, our perspectives. Listen, even our social telepathy, that is our ability to effectively communicate with others, all of that can cause us to have different perspectives on some things. I remember when I was growing up as a boy, my parents could very effectively communicate without saying words. There were certain looks they would give us that was a yes, certain looks that were a definite no, and certain looks that says you're about to cross the line, and that may create a situation that you won't desire. How many times have you and I said yes when in fact we wanted or needed to say no? Sometimes maybe you even wanted to scream no. You know, the times you thought about saying no, but suddenly there was this knot in your stomach, followed by anxiousness, followed by, will they be offended if I say no? Yeah, I've lived it many times too. How many times? How many times have we actually sacrificed something we needed or something we needed to do just because we didn't have the mental courage to say no? So let me ask this. What about being true to yourself? What about us being true to ourselves? Aren't we valuable? Aren't our desires and our preferences, our likes and our dislikes meaningful? In fact, they are. So suppose we make a decision. I made a decision today to help others understand that our desires, our likes and dislikes are meaningful. Now listen, I'm not suggesting some all-out mental assault by saying no to everything and everybody about anything. But I am recommending and I'm encouraging you and me to begin to rehearse reaching beyond that comfort zone of yes and be honest with ourselves. If it's not good for you at that time, say no. If it's not your preference, no is legitimate. And sometimes that no needs to ring out. Or listen, sometimes maybe it's a matter of just offering another option or another perspective about something someone asks you about. Sometimes the honest answer is no. It's legitimate. Here's a bonus tip I want to share with you. Think on this. Isn't it interesting that when we offer others an option or alternative to what they ask us about or ask us to do, how quickly and matter-of-factly they say no? It's either we conform to what they're asking us or nothing at all. Not making a judgment, just a vitamin to think about, that they will very matter-of-factly and quickly say no to the alternative we offer. So what about your no? Isn't your no just as valuable? Isn't your preference just as meaningful? Your mental health and my mental health genuinely helps others at times and helps ourselves by being honest with ourselves. Increasing our mental health necessitates honesty. It's life-giving to be honest, both with others and with ourselves. That wise brother Solomon in Proverbs 24 and 26, he offers this. He says an honest answer is like a kiss of friendship. I said, wow. So I want to share with this. No is legitimate. It's a legitimate word in the dictionary, just like yes. No is not an indictment. It's not some sort of negative cast you're putting over somebody or an event. It simply means that I'm empowering myself and I have the courage to be honest about this particular situation, this event, or what this person is asking me. So in closing, I want to share this with you. Be well and remember to live your life and not spend it. And so until next time, peace and hope.